Your story begins in San Francisco, 1981, and you are quietly drowning. You are Chris, and you met your own father for the first time at 28, so you made one promise: you will die before you break. Your kids will know theirs. Right now, that means your 5-year-old son and a life you have bet everything on and almost nothing left in your pocket. Everything you own is riding on a machine you carry everywhere like a 40-pound anchor, a portable bone density scanner. You sank your entire life savings into a garage full of them because you believed they were the future. To every doctor you show, they are just an expensive gadget that does a little more than an X-ray for twice the price. Most days, you sell nothing. So you do the math in your head over and over. You need to sell 2 of these a month just to cover rent and your son's daycare. One more to clear the parking tickets piling up under your wiper. You have not sold a single one in weeks. Every morning you walk out the door with a heavy machine and an even heavier feeling, and you smile anyway. Then one afternoon, a man steps out of a beautiful red sports car, glowing, the happiest human you have ever seen. You have to ask him, what do you do and how do you do it? He is a stockbroker. You do not need college, he says, just be good with numbers and good with people. And something in your chest goes bright because you know you are exactly those 2 things. You stand on that sidewalk and watch a whole crowd of them pour out of the brokerage, and every single one looks so impossibly happy. Why couldn't you look like that? Right there, with nothing in your bank account and a scanner cutting into your hand, you decide. That is the door you are going to walk through, no matter what it costs you. But home has become a war you are losing. Linda, your wife, has been pulling double shifts for months, and she is worn down to the bone. She is tired of the machines, tired of the promises, tired of hearing everything will be fine. You love her, and you can feel her slipping away from you, and there is nothing left in your hands to hold her with. So you walk straight into Dean Witter and ask about their internship. No pay, 6 months. 20 people start, and exactly 1 gets hired at the end. Everyone in your life thinks you have lost your mind. A broke salesman chasing an unpaid job with no guarantee. You take the application anyway because for the first time in a long time you can see a way up. And then you do something stupid. Outside an office, you hand your scanner to a stranger to hold for 5 minutes, and when you come back, she and your machine are gone. That was a month of groceries walking down the street. You chase her for blocks, lungs burning, and you lose her. You cannot even afford the mistakes anymore, and you keep making them. Nobody will give you an interview, so you stop waiting to be invited. You stake out the manager, Jay, and catch him right at the door, application in hand, just to make him see your face. He brushes you off politely. But you have decided that this man is going to remember your name, even if you have to stand outside his building every single morning to make it happen. You talk your way into sharing a cab with him, and there on the seat is one of those impossible colored cubes everyone was obsessed with that year. He swears no one can solve it. You take it, and while the city slides past the window, you twist it into place, side by side, color by color, until it is finished in his hands. For the first time, he looks at you like you might be somebody. Then Linda leaves, for good this time, bags packed, ready to take your son with her. And standing in the wreck of it, you think about Thomas Jefferson writing the Pursuit of Happiness into the Declaration. And you wonder why he chose that word, pursuit, like maybe happiness is something you are only ever allowed to chase and never quite catch. How did he know? But there is one thing you will not lose. You plant yourself in front of her and you say it plainly. Christopher stays with me. You are terrified and broke and half homeless already, and you take your boy anyway because a life without him is not a life you are willing to survive. And just like that, it is the 2 of you against the entire world. Your landlord has run out of patience. 1 week he tells you, then you are out. You stand in the doorway of the only home your son has ever known, doing the impossible arithmetic of a man with a 5-year-old, a suit that needs to look sharp and nowhere on earth to land. And the clock is already running. Then it gets worse in a way you could not have scripted. You are hauled in over a stack of unpaid parking tickets and locked in a cell overnight. And the most important interview of your entire life, the one at Dean Witter you clawed for, is at 10:15 the very next morning. You lie on a concrete bench and stare at the ceiling and do the only thing left. You plan. So you show up to that interview straight from jail, in paint-stained work clothes, looking like anything but a future stockbroker. You sit in the lobby trying to invent a story and you cannot find one, So you walk in and tell them the plain truth about the tickets and the cell. And somehow, dressed like a man who slept on concrete, you win the whole room. But there is a catch buried in the good news, and it nearly stops your heart. No salary, not $1 for 6 months. 20 of you fighting for a single job, and if you are not the one, none of it counts toward anything. You have a son to feed and a home you are about to lose. You look at all of it and you say yes anyway. Linda leaves for New York to chase her own thin shot at something better. She kneels down and kisses your sleeping boy, and she tells you to tell him she loves him. Then she is gone, out the door and out of the picture, and it truly is just you and Christopher now. One broke father, one small boy, and a promise you refuse to break. On a cracked basketball court, he tells you he is going to go pro someday, and out of your own fear, you almost snuff it out. Then you stop yourself cold. Hey, you tell him, do not ever let somebody tell you cannot do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you protect it. People who cannot do a thing will always try to tell you that you cannot either. You want something, you go get it. The internship begins, and it is a quiet knife fight for one job. The rule is brutal and simple. A number of calls makes a number of prospects. A number of prospects makes a number of clients. A number of clients makes the dollars that decide who stays. And hanging over all of it, a board exam you cannot afford to fail. You have never wanted anything this badly. The others stay until 7. You cannot. You have a son to pick up before daycare closes, so you have to do in 6 hours what they do in 9. So you stop hanging up the phone between calls because dialing again steals 8 minutes a day. You stop drinking water because a trip to the bathroom is time you do not have. You turn desperation into a system. Then you get a shot at a whale, a man sitting on millions in pension money, and your one chance to reach him is a single afternoon at a football game. You are charming, you are sharp, you make him laugh, he likes you. And then he tells you kindly and completely that there is not a chance he is letting a brand new intern manage his fortune. Not now, maybe not ever. And then the letter comes. The government reaches straight into your bank account and takes every dollar you have for back taxes with no warning at all. You stand there shaking, watching your money vanish into an account you cannot touch. On the 25th of September, you check the balance one last time, and it reads $21.33. You are, in every sense of the word, broke. So the thing you have been dreading finally arrives. You end up on the street, locked out, no money for a motel, the light going gray, your son's small hand swallowed in yours, and absolutely nowhere left to go. You keep your voice easy and your steps steady, because if you fall apart, he falls apart, and that is the one thing you will not let happen. So you turn the nightmare into a game. The scanner, you tell him, is a time machine. Dinosaurs are chasing you both, and you have to find a cave right now fast. He laughs and grabs his things, and you lead him running and giggling into a locked train station bathroom. That is the cave. That is where you are sleeping tonight, and he thinks it is the greatest adventure of his life. You lay him down on the folded-up floor with his head on your arm, and someone starts pounding on the door to get in. You brace your foot against it so it cannot open, and you cover his ear so the banging does not wake him. And in the dark of that bathroom, holding your sleeping son, you finally let yourself cry silently so he never once hears it. So you learn the shelter. Every single evening becomes a race across the city to Glide Memorial to claim one of the last few beds before the doors close at 5. You finish your work early, you grab your boy, and you run, praying you make the line in time. Some nights you are one body too late, and you have to start the whole desperate race over again. At night in a narrow shelter room, you sit up fixing a broken scanner by the thin light while your son lies scared in the dark. You promise to stay just outside the door where he can hear you. You gotta trust me, you tell him, and his small voice comes back through the crack. I trust you. And you hold onto those 3 words like they are the only thing keeping you upright. By day, you become almost unbeatable on the phones because you simply have no choice. Finish fast, sell a scanner if you can, sprint to make the shelter line by 5, sleep a few hours on a cot, and do the whole impossible thing again tomorrow. You are running on fumes in love, and somehow, quietly, you are starting to climb. One night your boy asks you the question that guts you. Did mom leave because of me? You take his face in both hands and you tell him the truth, hard and clear. No, that was never you, not for 1 second. And he looks up at you in the dark and tells you that you are a good papa. And you have to swallow everything just to keep from breaking in front of him. So you steal one perfect afternoon. Just you and Christopher at the beach, far away from the buses and the noise and the shelters and your own constant disappointment in yourself. For a few hours there is no scanner, no exam, no line at 5. Just your son laughing in the water and the strange, aching realization that even now, even here, you are somehow happy. And then the work begins to land. You sign 31 accounts from a single company, more than you ever thought possible. You are pulling clients from the very top of the sheets, doorman to chief executive, closing what the others could not. Quietly, without letting yourself believe it yet, you are becoming the best of the 20. The exam comes, and you sit it knowing you have already given everything you have. Then comes the last day of the 6 months. They call you into the office, and your heart is slamming. You mention that you wore a shirt today, being the final day and all. Well, the boss says, wear one tomorrow too, because tomorrow is going to be your first day if you would like to work here as a broker. Would you like that, Chris? Yes, yes, sir. You say it as steady as you can manage, and you shake his hand, and you tell them it was not as easy as it looked because it was not for one single day. You keep your face together through the goodbyes and the thank yous. You hold it all in until you are out the door and onto the street. And then in the middle of a crowded sidewalk, it hits you all at once, everything you carried and everything you survived. You press your hands together against your mouth and you weep and you laugh and the whole city keeps walking past. And you finally understand the word Jefferson chose. This part of your life, this small, impossible part, is called happiness. So you run the entire way to your son, weaving through the crowd with tears still on your face, and you scoop him up and you hold him and you do not let go. From a jail cell, from a bathroom floor, from $21, you made it. And the first person you tell is the little boy who never once doubted that you would. And here is the part the world would come to know. It does not stop there. You go on to build your own brokerage firm out of nothing, and one day you sell a piece of it for millions. The broke father who slept in a train station bathroom becomes a man whose own name hangs on Wall Street. You spent your whole life chasing happiness. In the end, you caught it, and you did it holding your son's hand.